6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says Hindu supremacist ideology threatens the 9 million Kashmiris who are under siege in occupied Kashmir for over 2 weeks. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information has said resolution of the Kashmir dispute is the top priority of the government. Strict curfew restrictions continued in occupied Kashmir on the 14th consecutive day today. In India, 6 petitioners have approached the Supreme Court to challenge the government's move to scrap Jammu and Kashmir's special status. Turkey has urged the United Nations to play a more active role in resolving the lingering Kashmir dispute within the framework of its resolutions. In Afghanistan, 63 people have been killed in a suicide bomb blast at a wedding ceremony in Kabul. Russia says it will not deploy new missiles as long as the United States shows similar restraint in Europe and Asia. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says India has been captured by a fascist and racist Hindu supremacist ideology and leadership as Germany had been captured by the Nazis. In a series of tweets, he said this threatens the 9 million Kashmiris who are under siege in occupied Kashmir for over 2 weeks, which should have sent alarm bells ringing across the world, with the United Nations observers being sent there. The Prime Minister said the threat also extends to Pakistan, the minorities in India, and, in fact, the very fabric of Nehru and Gandhi's India. He said one can simply Google to understand the link between the Nazis' ideology and ethnic cleansing and genocide ideology of the RSS BJP founding fathers. Imran Khan said 4 million Indian Muslims already face detention camps and cancellation of citizenship. He said the world must take note of it as this genie is out of the bottle, and the doctrine of hate and genocide with RSS goons on the rampage will spread unless the international community acts now to stop it. The Prime Minister said the world must also seriously consider the safety and security of India's nuclear arsenal in the control of the fascist, racist, Hindu supremacist Modi government. He said this is an issue that impacts not just the region, but also the entire world. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashika Wan, says resolution of the Kashmir issue is the top priority of the government. Addressing a ceremony to mark the completion of 1 year of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government in Islamabad today, she said today is a very important day as the government has completed its 1-year tenure. She said this day is dedicated to the struggle of the oppressed Kashmiri brothers and sisters for their right to self-determination. Dr. Firdaus Ashika Wan said the incumbent government has highlighted the Kashmir issue in an unprecedented way, and for the first time in 50 years, it was discussed at the United Nations Security Council. Dr. Firdaus Ashika Wan said the government, in a short period of 1 year, corrected the course through strong foundations, hard work, and honesty. Dr. Firdaus Ashika Wan said the last 1 year was the journey of stability of Pakistan, while the next year will be the journey of its construction. Referring to her ministry, Dr. Firdaus Ashika Wan said reforms have been brought in Pakistan television and it is becoming a profitable institution now. She said links of the Associated Press of Pakistan are being increased with the international news agencies so that it projects a positive image of Pakistan abroad. The Special Assistant said the government, through its policies and reforms process, will also turn Radio Pakistan into a profitable institution so that it truly becomes the voice of 220 million people. A rally was taken out by the Pakistani and Kashmiri expatriates in the German city of Hanover to express solidarity with the people of occupied Kashmir. It was also attended by the Minister for Saffron and Narcotics Control, Shehryar Khan Afridi. Addressing the rally, he urged the world to act and save millions of Kashmiris locked in the biggest jail on earth in occupied Kashmir. Shahryar Khan Afridi said the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is Hitler of Asia, who is involved in genocide of Kashmiris and minorities in his country. He said the world needs to intervene to avoid human catastrophe in the Indian occupied Kashmir. This is Radio Pakistan. In occupied Kashmir, the authorities continue to impose strict curfew across the Kashmir Valley on the 14th consecutive day today to prevent the people from holding demonstrations against India's move of abrogating the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. However, the people defied curfew and came out of their houses in Srinagar and protested against the abrogation of the special status of Jammu and Kashmir by the Indian government. Several people were injured, including 6 of them critically, when the troops used force and fired pellets and bullets on the protesters. The authorities also continue to impose information blockade as television channels and internet links remain snapped, and restrictions on the media continue since the 5th of August. Almost all the Hurriyat leaders, including Sayyid Ali Gilani and Mirwais Omar Farooq, have been put under house arrest or in jails. Due to the severe blockade, a famine-like situation is emerging as people are facing severe shortage of essential commodities, including baby food and life-saving drugs in occupied Kashmir, and the valley represents a humanitarian crisis in all its manifestations. 6 petitioners, including 2 former high-ranking military officers, have approached the Supreme Court of India to challenge the Indian government move to scrap Jammu and Kashmir's special status. Among others, the petitions have been filed by former Air Vice Marshal Kapil Kak and retired Major General Ashok Mehra. Turkey has urged the United Nations to play a more active role in resolving the lingering Kashmir dispute within the framework of its resolutions. The Turkish Foreign Ministry, in a statement, welcomed the consultations held by the UN Security Council on the recent developments in the disputed Jammu and Kashmir. The ministry also reiterated that the dispute be resolved through dialogue between the parties concerned. It also called for calm and avoiding unilateral steps that would escalate tension. In Afghanistan, 63 people have been killed and 182 others injured in a suicide bomb blast at a wedding ceremony in Kabul. The Afghan Interior Ministry spokesman, Nusrat Rahimi, said the casualties also include women and children. Meanwhile, the Taliban have denied responsibility for the blast. Pakistan has strongly condemned the heinous bomb attack targeting civilians during a marriage function in Kabul. The Foreign Office spokesperson in a statement said, "We express our heartfelt condolences to the families of innocent victims and pray for the maghfirat of the deceased and for early recovery of many others who were seriously injured in the attack." 3 Palestinians have been martyred in an Israeli forces attack adjacent to the security fence in northern Gaza Strip. In Libya, the government forces carried out 13 airstrikes targeting militia sites in Misrata, including a warehouse. The commander of the Libyan National Army's Air Operations, General Mohammed Manfour, told Al Arabiya that the operation was precise and successful. The commander confirmed that the Army's combat aircraft returned to their bases after the success of the operation. Russia says it will not deploy any missiles as long as the United States shows similar restraint in Europe and Asia. This was stated by the Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu while talking to Russia 24 television channel. Earlier this month, the United States formally left the Intermediate Nuclear Forces Treaty with Russia, accusing Moscow of violating the treaty and deploying a banned type of missile. And now cricket. Sri Lanka beat New Zealand by 6 wickets in the first cricket test match, taking a 1-0 lead in the 2-match series at Galle today. Captain Karunaratne posted his 9th Test 100, along with enjoying a record equaling opening partnership of 161 with Lahiru Thirimani. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and humid weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind, thunderstorm with isolated heavy falls are expected at scattered places in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper Punjab, Islamabad, Gilgit-Baltistan, and Kashmir. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.